Hey guys, so I'm going to show you how I edit all of my photos for my blog and Instagram in Lightroom. So I just barely did a hair tutorial for the blog, and I'll end up posting the photos on the blog and also on my Instagram. And so I'm wanting to edit this photo right here. So usually the first thing I do is I bump up the exposure. And depending on how dark the images will depend how much I bump it up. That's a little too much. So let's go back down. We'll start maybe about right there. And then the next thing I do is I bump up the saturation just a little bit, and I bump up the vibrance as well. Then I'll go down here to the dehaze, and I feel like that just gives my images a little bit more dimension and sharpens them up a little bit. Bump up my clarity to about 2 every time. I usually don't go up higher than that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my whites a little more white, and I'm actually going to make my blacks a little more black. And then I'm going to bump down the temperature a few degrees depending on what the lighting was. And then I'm going to click mix over here, and I love to bump up the orange. I feel like that bumps up. Oh, that was actually a mistake. Then it opens up this big old drop down menu with a bunch of colors, and I usually don't mess with the hue, but I love to mess with the saturation. I usually bump up my orange quite a bit. That usually will bump up my skin tone as well. And then for my blog and Instagram's aesthetic, I like to bump up the blue, which will kind of emphasize this pillow and a little bit in my rug. And then from here, I kind of just play around with the other colors that are in the image. Bump down the yellow just a little bit. I don't want my hair looking extremely brassy. Okay, and after that, I'm going to actually mess with the shadows a little bit. Bump this up. Not that much, just a little bit. I'm going to go back to my exposure and make sure that's where I like it. Maybe bump this down to this a little bit more. Now go ahead and just play around with any of the colors or any of the effects that you like to match your aesthetic. Okay, now once you have your image the way you like it, I click Save and Exit. And then for some reason for me, when it shows me my preview, I feel like things look a little different than they do when I'm editing them. So now that I'm seeing it on this darker background, I think I want to go back in and drop the saturation on the reds a little bit. So I'll actually go back in and re-edit just a little bit of what I did. Go back here. Obviously, I have my saturation up a lot for those flowers down in the corner. I'm going to bump those down just a little bit. That should probably do it. And yeah, that looks pretty good to me. So I'm going to go ahead and save it. And that is how I edit all of my photos for my blog or for my Instagram. And I hope this was helpful. Thanks for watching. Let's see, how do we exit this? Let's see.